Hi, I'm Erica Raggett, founder and executive director of A Second Cup. One of the priorities of our organization is to collaborate and support partners in the work that we do to end human trafficking. And one of the ways that we do that is by choosing an organization each month to highlight and support financially with proceeds from our split shot drink of the month. And this March, we have chosen The Landing, an organization that we have been partnering with for 5 years. In fact, we were lucky enough to host their launch party when they were founded 5 years ago. So they're very near and dear to our hearts. We love this organization and we greatly value their work and partnership, and would love for you to hear a little bit more about what they do. So I'm here today with Kara Parker, Executive Director at The Landing, to hear more about the vital work that they do. So Kara, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah,
I
thanks
would
for having
love,
me.
yeah, I would love to just start off by having you give us an overview of the work that you do at The Landing.
Yeah, so Landing's about a 5-year-old organization, and we're down on what's known as the Bissonnet Track in Southwest Houston. So that's one of the major hotspots for trafficking and prostitution in the Houston area. And we have a drop-in center that's just a safe space where anyone who has been trafficked or has experienced the commercial sex trade can just walk in. They can get basic needs met. They can get things like food or clothing, have a place to rest. We have case managers who work with them on a range of goals, things like housing or employment or education. Then we have counselors who kind of work with them as well and addressing some of the trauma or just the issues that they've experienced while in life. We also engage in outreach to the area. So we do street outreach and online and just try to get the word out about the services that we have that are available to victims. And then we also last year launched a youth advocacy program. So we work with children and young adults who have been trafficked, kind of in coordination with law enforcement, DFPS, and others. So as these kids are identified, they have an advocate who is on a 24/7 crisis response and comes meet them where they are, and then just kind of walks alongside them throughout their recovery journey and builds a relationship with them. So we're really able to engage with a lot of survivors in the city in different ways, and we just try to be a resource to the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think your work is so important in just having that initial contact with individuals who are in a really hard situation. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I so appreciate that. We talk about in this anti-trafficking field that anyone can be trafficked.
Right.
But I'm curious, in your work with clients, do you notice common themes that make some individuals or communities more vulnerable than others?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. I mean, yes, anyone can be trafficked, anyone can be a trafficker. And I think there are a lot of areas where, there are misconceptions around that. But I would say in terms of themes that we see, one of the major vulnerabilities is just poverty. We see that as a common theme where people are just, trying to take care of themselves or their families, and they're in really vulnerable situations where they don't have access to stable housing or food, or employment. And so, this is kind of the option that's available. I would say, we also see patterns where people who've experienced childhood trauma and abuse of different sorts is very high. Um, you know, People who've entered in the foster care system, runaway youth. And then just kind of within our clients, most of our clients are women and most of our clients are women of color in particular. Majority of our clients are African American. And so I think we definitely see where, just within our clients, but also research has shown that communities of color are at greater risk because of some of the systemic inequalities and different vulnerabilities in those communities. So those are definitely some pretty prevalent themes in the people that we serve.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I think that, a lot of times we in this field and people who are initially learning about trafficking kind of think of it happening in a vacuum, like
Mhm.
this like a thing that happens on its own without any other things filtering into it. But I think the reality is that there are so many other issues that contribute to the likelihood that someone could be trafficked or exploited.
Totally.
Yeah. So, as March is Women's History Month, and you just mentioned that a lot of your clients are female or female identifying. Can you
Mhm.
share your thoughts on the impact of gender equity and on human trafficking?
Yeah. So yeah, the majority of our clients are women, and even kind of broader reports have shown the majority of trafficking victims are women and girls. And I think that's for a range of reasons. I think one of the things that we see is just there's such a prevalence of violence against women, and really the objectification of women as well. And I think those really put women in positions where they are more vulnerable to then being exploited and abused and trafficked. And so that's kind of one of the things that we see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are so once clients are working with you, what are some of the biggest challenges that you see them facing? And then what are some of the ways that the landing walks along with them as they are overcoming those challenges?
Yeah, I think going back to poverty, that's a major challenge. And so, I think whenever you're serving people who are survivors, you've really got to address their holistic needs, and kind of understanding their context. And so you can't just kind of rescue someone out of a situation without addressing the fact that they do need a safe place to stay. They need food, they need transportation, they need a job. And so, we see a lot of those barriers with the people we serve, for a range of reasons. Employment can be a real challenge. Whether it's not having legitimate work experience, or the right job skills, or just understanding how to navigate employment. Some may have even been criminalized for some of the things that were done to them, and so having criminal records creates barriers. And so with that, we do different kind of job readiness programs. We try to help survivors find employment. We also kind of coordinate with other partners on trying to find stable housing. We have food that's available at our drop-in center, and we also kind of deliver it out to clients' homes, to just kind of help stabilize and address the basic needs. And then I think another thing we see a lot of, is just trauma. There's just, if you put yourself in their position, just having to kind of endure that experience. Trafficking itself, but even sometimes people have, trauma that predated it. And so they come in, and we have counselors who are available. We do support groups. We do something called Ending the Game. That's a curriculum that was created by a survivor to help kind of break some of those bonds to their traffickers, to the life. And they just kind of help people process their experience, and really kind of empower them to take steps forward, and to deal with some of the things that have happened.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I've noticed about the landing is how holistically you think about your clients and how you work with partners to ensure that they have like all of the resources and wraparound services they need to be successful.
Mhm.
So thank you for all of that.
Yeah.
So I know when we talk to people about human trafficking and as they're learning more, people want to get involved and do something. What are the top one or two things you would say to someone who wants to engage in this work to end human trafficking?
Yeah, I think what I would say, and I was in that position too, and I think probably you as well, you hear about it and you're like, I want to do something.
Yeah.
And there's just some really incredible organizations out in the Houston community. You can always get involved with the landing or second cut, but really like there are a lot of great organizations in this space. And so I would say, just starting to research the issue itself. And it's a complex one. I mean, it's when, as we've been talking, it's not just the human trafficking, you start getting into all the intersectionality and all the root causes of it. So really taking the time to try to better understand the issue. And then also understanding the organizations that are out there, and trying to figure out, how you can volunteer or maybe join a board, or, use your skills in a way that you can help kind of the work that's going on in this space. And so I know, with the landing, we have just started doing awareness presentations, virtually every other month. So we have one coming up, I think it's this Friday at noon, and information is available on our website, or, coming to a second cup event, just any, way like that to kind of learn more about the issue, I think is a great first step.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
Mhm.
speaking of getting involved, I know that
Yeah.
your fifth year birthday celebration on the rooftop is coming up on Saturday, April 10th. I know that there's going to be like tacos and desserts and fun. And I think that attendees might be able to tour the drop in center. Is that
They
right?
will, yeah. So
Are
we're
people
excited
able
about
to?
that.
Are people able to still register to attend?
They can, yes. So yeah, we're gonna have our fifth birthday celebration. And so we'll have just a rooftop, socially distanced kind of set up for people. And then you can also sign up for a tour. So we're kind of managing the size of the tours just for safety precautions. But yeah, you can tour the expanded drop-in space. We also have our youth advocacy space on site as well. and just get to see kind of where, where we're located, the Bissonnette community, and then, what, classrooms look like, our case management offices, and where we do the work. So we're really excited to be able to open that up to the community. And if you're interested in joining us, you can find out more on our website at thelanding.org.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to celebrate with you guys. So, well, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for the incredibly important work that you do to support individuals who have been trafficked and exploited. We firmly believe that you are such a valuable partner in this work. And we're so grateful for you guys. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We're so grateful for you guys and all the work you do to raise awareness around this issue.